Welcome, Tony. It's such a pleasure to have you back on the show. And I'm so excited for your new book. How are you doing?
I've been doing well. It's been a little while, Mariza, and but yeah, I've got this book coming out, so it's been kind of crazy with podcasts and promotions and all that type of stuff. So thank you so much for having me on.
Well, what I want to talk about today is not only your book, but more importantly, all my ladies are looking to age in reverse, right? And looking, what are the things that we can do from a proactive standpoint, and any other secrets that you have as well, so that we can look as gorgeous and youthful as possible for as many years as possible. And so, I know that this has been your life's work for a very long time. And in your new book, you're talking about autojuvenation. And can you define what that means? Because I know that this is something that you have really kind of coined, and you like your protocol is this autojuvenation.
Yeah, so as a real plastic surgeon who went through all my general surgery, plastic surgery training and stuff like that, I was always taught basically that the pinnacle of success is to do the biggest operations on people and to sign people up for surgery and stuff like that. And I came to a realization many years ago that what I was taught throughout my surgical residency and training, and even at our conferences, is completely wrong. The goal should not be to bring people to the operating room. As a plastic surgeon, as a holistic plastic surgeon, my goal should be the opposite, should be to keep people out of the operating room. And so I really came to this epiphany many years ago, and I thought, geez, everything that I've been taught about doing the surgery and everything like that, and trying to have that be kind of the pinnacle of success, I've got to really relook at this and see, like, how do I truly do my patients and my followers the right way? And the right way really was looking at things from a holistic point of view, from what people can do without surgery. And that comes down to what you eat, when you eat, what type of supplements you take, and what you put on your skin. And then for those people who want to, maybe some non-invasive treatments that they can even do some of them at home, to really combining all that to turn back the clock. So I created this concept called autojuvenation, and it's combining all of these facets of non-invasive, non-surgical ways to turn back the clock in a kind of revolutionary way, where you can literally see the wrinkles get a little bit smoother, the skin get more radiant, the dark spots disappear, all without going under the knife or seeing a doctor.
Mm. I think that's exactly what we all want. And the more that we can do it at home, I think that feels really good as well. And, Tony, I was curious, when do you recommend, who is this book for? Would you say women in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond? Or is it women predominantly when they start to notice changes, maybe in their 40s? Like, when should we really be very proactive about maintaining this youthful skin, like really kind of reducing the amount of aging that we're experiencing?
So really, it should start in your 20s if you can, but most people in their 20s, it doesn't matter what you do. In some ways, you always bounce back. And so there's not all this, there's not a lot of drive in people, or reason for them a lot of times in their 20s to take these steps to do these types of things. But when you hit your 30s, that's when really your lifestyle can make a huge difference in how your skin looks. Now, you can bounce back very quickly in your 20s, but once you hit your 30s, that doesn't necessarily happen. We do know that one of the main reasons why our skin ages is collagen degradation, is that the collagen of our skin basically gets thinner, about 1% a year thinner starting in your mid-20s. But you really start to notice it in your 30s and in your 40s. And in my practice, I get people who come to see me who are in their 30s or 40s or 50s, and literally just looking at them, I can tell what type of diet they have, whether they're a smoker, what type of skincare they're kind of using, because you can really tell by looking at the quality of their skin, the aging of the skin. And we have a good friend of ours, Dr. Trevor Cates, and she calls skin the magic mirror of our body. And it's so true, because the health of our body really does show in your skin. And that's why really with the book, the first thing we go into detail with is diet, and the importance of diet to the quality and the health of your skin and keeping your skin looking young.
So in some of the biggest causes for aging skin, diet is probably the biggest one. Is that what you've kind of concluded?
Yeah, what you eat can really impact. So I look at it, there's basically five main causes of aging of the skin, especially premature aging. The first is nutrient depletion. Okay. And we do know that there was actually a study that looked at 50 years from 1950 to 1999, the nutrition of our produce, of our fruits and vegetables that we eat. And they found that every year there was a slight decrease in at least 6 different nutritional components. And that consistently declined throughout those 49 years. And that study ended in 1999. So now we're in, 2023. That's very, we've got another 23 years where potentially our food is less nutritious than it once was. And of these 6 different nutrients that are consistently lower year after year, it includes vitamin C, it includes protein, and it includes iron, and these are very, very important. So number 1, nutrient depletion. Number 2, oxidation or free radicals. Number 3 is inflammation. Number 4 is collagen degradation. And the 5th cause of aging is basically lack of autophagy, or the buildup of cellular waste. And the food that you eat can impact all 5 of those. All 5 of them. Now, sometimes skincare can impact a couple of them. Other types of things can impact them, but food impacts all 5 of these aging causes of our skin.
That's so powerful. And I'm so curious because I know so many of us still believe that it's skincare that's going to really move the needle. And, from talking with you over the years, I have learned that that is not true. I
No,
mean,
it's
it
very
moves a needle, but not as much as these other areas do.
Yeah, so essentially, if you ask a dermatologist, hey, what do I do for young, beautiful skin? They'll say, wear sunblock and use a retinol. If you ask a plastic surgeon, hey, what should I do to look younger? They'll say, get a facelift, get your eyelids done. If you ask a holistic health expert, they'll say, heal your gut. And really the truth is it is a combination of inside and out. And so that's the big thing with autojuvenation is, it definitely comes down to the diet. It's like your skin and your aging process is like you're building a house. And what you feed it, what you eat is like the foundation of your house. Skincare is going to be like the second floor. And then treatments is going to be like the attic. And so you always want to start off with your diet, but ideally you want to combine then diet with good skincare, because then you're going to hit your skin from the inside out. And that's kind of this whole concept of autojuvenation that I don't know if anybody has really brought it out there before. You and I have great friends of ours who talk all about what to eat for beautiful skin, and I know a lot of dermatologists that talk all about what skincare products to use, but really it's combining the two where you get the most power.
Yeah, I'm excited to get into some of the nutritional pieces. Do you ever look at glycation as well, Dr. Youn, like in terms of blood sugar deregulation? I know that we're really struggling with that too. And I don't know
Yeah.
how much of a profound impact it has on basically heating and wrinkling our skin.
No, it's huge. So glycation, I mentioned the 5 causes of aging. Glycation I put with essentially inflammation. And the reason why is because sugar. So sugar is a great ager of our skin. And there are 2 main processes that sugar contributes to that ages our skin prematurely. Glycation is one. We do know that sugar can bind with the proteins of our skin, the collagen and the elastin, and it can cause those proteins, the collagen and elastin, to become more aged and frayed. The way I describe it, it's kind of like your skin, the collagen of your skin, and the collagen is what causes your skin to feel tight and strong. It's like the logs of a log cabin. And as you get older, that collagen that when you're young is like those tight-fitting logs, and they're nice and solid and smooth, they start to fray, they start to fall apart a bit. And what eating sugar can do to those logs is that they can actually attach to those logs and cause them to fall apart even more, to the point where you cannot even hardly put them together. And that is the process of glycation. And those sugar collagen hybrids, when they combine, are called advanced glycation end products, appropriately named AGEs, ages. And so that's one way that just eating sugar can totally wreak havoc on your skin and the aging of your skin. But the second way is with chronic insulin spikes. And I know you've talked a lot about hormones in the past, but sugar spikes cause chronic insulin spikes that can eventually lead to issues with high blood sugar, with problems with insulin sensitivity and all of that. That can create an inflammatory process as well. So definitely glycation, huge, huge problem. First thing that if you want to really looking at diet to improve the quality of your skin, reduce the amount of sugar that you eat. It's interesting. There's a study that found that 40% of the calories of the standard American diet come from sugary drinks. Literally 40%.
Just drinks, just
Just
sugary
drinks.
drinks.
70%, over 70% of the diet is when you combine sugary drinks with refined carbs.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And so just, and for me, a lot of my followers your followers are very educated because you go really into the science of the hormone stuff. A lot of my followers are from TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that. So for me, a lot of my followers don't necessarily know quite all this information that your followers do. And so I really, a lot of times start with them, say, hey, look, if you drink 3 cans of soda pop a day, just reduce it down to 2 and maybe try like green tea. And if they just do that, like I try to encourage them, like that's a big deal. And I think that for some of us, that's taking these baby steps super, super important because not everybody is like Dr. Mariza, where you have a perfect diet and like you're really tuned into your body. There's so many people I feel that don't even know how bad they feel because they think that that's just normal for them. And to get rid of some of that sugar can make some huge changes in how they feel.
And are there others? So I knew sugar was on the list. I
Yes.
know ultra processed foods are on the list. Just due to the toxins alone from
Yes.
those types of foods. Are there anything? Is alcohol on that list in particular?
So yeah, I mean, alcohol we know is a toxin. We also know that it dries out our skin,
right.
and as time goes on, we're finding more and more the negative effects of alcohol. Now, the big question isn't so much alcohol. You know that if you go and drink a bunch of shots, that's really not good for you. It's not good for your liver, your whole body. But what about red wine? And that's the one that's kind of the big question. And in general, I believe that in moderation, red wine can be healthy for you because of the antioxidants. But I recommend limiting it to about 1 glass a day at the most. Now, some people don't do great with red wine, period. For me, I know it just depends on the wine I drink. If I drink Dry Farms wine, I seem to do just fine. But if I drink other types of wine, I myself get hives and stuff like that. I can get red face. So I don't have the issue that some Asians have, but I still get some reaction to it. But I think that the quality of the wine is definitely important. So alcohol overall, not good. If you're going to have anything, a glass of red wine arguably can be good for you because of the resveratrol and other antioxidants.
Yeah, I tabled it for the full year. And I was curious to see, I mean, I just knew that it wasn't doing me any favors anymore. But I was also curious to see if it had an impact. I wasn't drinking enough. Honestly, I wasn't drinking enough. It was like once every 3 months. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
even that wasn't worth it. So I don't know if it's had any impact on my skin, but I definitely feel better overall not having it inside of my diet. And I think everyone just kind of needs to decide that for themselves too.
Yeah, I think that if you don't drink alcohol, that's a healthy lifestyle is not drinking it. The question is if you want to drink a little red wine, is that okay? And I think arguably it's probably fine, see how you deal with the alcohol part of it, which is obviously the toxic issue.
Mm-hmm. And are there any other foods that should be on, like, I'm assuming nasty seed oils are probably not doing well for our skin? Anything? I know sugar is the big one.
Yeah, so oxidation is the other thing. So we talked about inflammation, and a lot of inflammation really does have to do with sugar.
Yeah.
But oxidation is another problem, or free radicals. And for your listeners, basically, what is oxidation? What is free radicals? Free radicals are basically the free radicals are molecules that are produced by our body's metabolism. So just the act of being alive, we produce free radicals as essentially a waste product of our bodies. Now, if you are living a healthy lifestyle, if you're Dr. Mariza Snyder or Alex Dunks, then you probably don't have a ton of free radicals in your body because you're eating well, you're exercising, you're not horribly stressed. And that free radical, your body will neutralize those free radicals, that cellular waste essentially, with antioxidants. But you can get into a situation where you have too many free radicals in your body. If you're exposed to a lot of pollution, if you're smoking a lot, if you're eating a lot of ultra processed type foods, they will also increase the amount of free radicals that your body is exposed to. Those types of things can cause then damage to the DNA of our cells. Free radicals, if they are not neutralized by antioxidants, literally will damage the DNA of our cells and cause our cells and our body to age prematurely. So how do you fight free radicals? You fight it with antioxidants. How do you fight it with antioxidants? You eat the rainbow of fruits and vegetables. And the interesting thing with that is that the actual pigment, the color of that fruit and vegetable, is the actual antioxidant. And so it does you good to eat red, orange, green, purple, all these different colors, because the different pigments are the actual antioxidants.
Mm, I love that. Yeah. And I know that the research that I was looking at recently is the goal is 30 different types of plant foods every week.
Wow. Yeah.
And if
That's a
if you're
lot.
not there, you can scale it up over time. But that's supporting the microbiome, that's neutralizing
Yep,
that oxidative stress, that's really supporting your beautiful skin.
exactly.
Yeah, through supporting your body.
Yeah, so that's the number two, two cause really. So you're talking about inflammation, sugar related, oxidation, which are the ultra processed foods and all of that, and then collagen degradation. We talked about how collagen gets thinner. How
Yes.
do you then fight the collagen degradation using food? Well, collagen is a protein. It's a large protein. And unfortunately, our diets sometimes don't have enough protein in it. And so
Mhm.
eating healthy choices of meats. So typically I recommend grass-fed, pasture-raised, wild-caught, beef, chicken, fish, ideally cold water fish, like salmon, tuna, and trout. So these are great sources of protein because you need enough protein then to create the collagen that's obviously in your skin. You can also get collagen by bone broth. And we've got a good friend of ours, Kellyanne Petrucci, who's the bone broth queen. Interestingly enough, bone broth, really, the way you can tell whether it has a good amount of collagen is you let it actually cool. And as it cools, if it hardens into it hardens into gelatin,
Yeah.
yeah, that actually is collagen. And then when you heat it up, it becomes that broth again. And that's one way to know whether, because there's so many sources of bone broth out there now. As long as you see that process happen, then you can be pretty certain that that's definitely chock full of collagen. The interesting thing, Mariza, is I don't know of any studies that show that drinking bone broth improves your skin. I think it does. It makes sense that it does. There haven't been any studies to either prove it or disprove it. But there have been studies on collagen supplements. And so that's the other thing that I'm definitely a big fan of, is taking a collagen supplement. There are so many studies that show that supplementing with hydrolyzed collagen peptides can help to thicken the collagen of your skin. And they've even taken biopsies of people of their skin after they've been on collagen for, let's say, 2 months, and have found the actual thicker collagen. The skin actually has thicker levels of collagen after supplementing with it.
I was about to ask you because I know collagen is all the rage in terms of adding it to your coffee or adding it to your smoothies. And, it's widely available today more than ever. And I know some people are doing it for like supporting joints, but I know a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people are doing it to support their skin. So I was
So
curious if
yeah,
the research was there to back that up.
so there's actually a meta-analysis in 2021 that looked at over 1,200 people, 90 days that they took a hydrolyzed collagen supplement, and they found an improvement in wrinkles, in skin hydration, and skin elasticity, all statistically significant. And a meta-analysis being kind of a culmination, not a culmination, but actually a putting a bunch of studies together so that you're getting the data from all these studies, and you're talking like I said, 1,200 people. There have been so many randomized prospective controlled trials that do show the benefits of collagen. The interesting thing with collagen is that there are different types of collagen. So type 1 collagen is what we find in our skin, in our hair, in our bone. Type 2 collagen is found in our joints, and type 3 collagen is found in our muscle. And the big thing with collagen, if you're going to try a collagen supplement, is you want to make sure that it's hydrolyzed. If you go online, there are a lot of doctors who will tell you that, oh, collagen, it doesn't work. It doesn't make any sense. Your stomach will break it down. And the fact is if it is just collagen, then yes, we don't know how does your body absorb it, because it is a big protein. It's going to get broken down in your stomach. That's why you want to look for a hydrolyzed collagen peptides. Hydrolyzed means that big collagen protein has been broken down into single amino acids, or peptides, which is a combination of small number of amino acids. That's much smaller, and you can definitely absorb that. What you can absorb, though, is collagen in a cream on your skin. That's something that's too big. It's not going to get through your skin. So if you're thinking about buying a collagen cream and you think it's going to improve the collagen of your skin, that actually is not true.
Good to know. Good to know. Cause I know there's a lot of collagen masks out there and collagen products. And yeah,
Yeah.
I heard from you before that they don't move the needle.
No, and they're fine for moisturizing your skin, but they're not going to actually change the structure of your skin, which technically taking a collagen supplement might. And, full disclosure, I've got my own collagen supplement that we sell. And the stories that we hear from people about like, oh, my joints are feeling better. My skin looks better. I was actually visiting my mom a couple months ago and I just sent her collagen supplements like regularly. I'm like, just take it, mom, just take it. And she was talking to me one morning. She's like, I don't know what's going on, but my hair's thicker. Do you think it could be that collagen that I'm taking? I was like, yeah, it could be, mom.
Could be. That's my favorite. Your moms are like, what is it the thing that you keep sending me that I'm taking religiously? And
Is it
you're the
actually working?
expert, you're the actual expert on it. Like, I don't
No,
know.
I'm not wasting the money on postage for no reason here.
I love it. Okay, so now we talked a little bit about what to eat and obviously what not to eat to support our skin, but also the timing of our
Yes.
eating matters. And I mean, I had a feeling. I haven't ever looked into the research of intermittent fasting in regards to
Yeah.
skin, but I have looked into it regarding oxidative stress and autophagy. And so I'm so curious as to how we can leverage intermittent fasting, or what type of intermittent fasting that you found to be the most supportive, to help support our skin, because that's
Yeah.
something that's free.
Yeah.
We can do that.
And and so really it's that number 5 cause of aging is that buildup of cellular waste. And so
Yes.
for those people who are listening, I know you know about it, but for those people who are listening, essentially what happens is as our cells function and they get older, they can build up intracellular waste, which are organelles and proteins that have been used but have been kind of discarded. And our body will automatically recycle that, use that as fuel when it needs to in a process called autophagy. Autophagy means self-eating, or essentially, once again, kind of recycling and reusing those old used intracellular organelles and proteins. But the problem is autophagy will not kick in unless you stop eating for a while. If you are constantly eating and snacking, your body does not need to use that for energy. And so it doesn't go through the process of autophagy, and your cells start to build up with this intracellular waste. It starts to kind of gunk those cells up so that they don't function as well. And lo and behold, you start looking older. Well, with age, autophagy does decrease as well. We know that that is true. And so you combine the type of a lifestyle where you are constantly grazing with getting older, and autophagy is really going by the wayside. Now, how then we recommend, to essentially fight that process, and essentially you're cleaning out your cells, making them function more effectively and more youthfully, is by taking time where you're not eating, is by intermittent fasting. And so in my book, once again, my audience is going to be the type where they may not have fasted at all in their life. And so I'm trying to encourage people, even if you just start by intermittent fasting 2 days a week, where you stop eating at 8 p.m. and you don't eat any food until noon the next day. Water, coffee, tea, as long as you don't put anything in it, is totally fine. Then you can get that process of autophagy revving, because we do know that autophagy doesn't take that long for it to start working. And that literally that short kind of 14-hour, 16-hour fast is sufficient to get autophagy revved up. And then what we did was we do know that there are certain types of foods that can actually promote autophagy. So even though you may break your fast, let's say at noon, what we ended up doing is taking people and they would break their fast, but they would break it with autophagy promoting foods, which are essentially healthy fats like omega-3 fatty acids. So cold water fish, tuna, trout, salmon, mackerel, that type of thing, with monounsaturated fatty acids. So nuts and seeds. And then we also ended up adding in polyphenol-rich foods, because we do know that polyphenols also will help promote autophagy. So now you're talking strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, black beans. And so people, even though you break your fast, let's say at noon, you continue with what we call an autophagy stimulating diet. And for that next 24 hours, you can also continue to be promoting that autophagy process while you're actually eating. And we did a 21-day kind of jumpstart where we tested people with this type of a diet and combined that with supplements and skincare, and found some just dramatic changes in the skin and people losing weight and just feeling great afterwards.
I love that combination. And I know I'm super excited to see it play out inside of the book as well. One of the other side benefits I feel, in terms of the inflammation piece is when we take on that 14, 16, 17-hour window, we
Mhm.
are also helping to stabilize blood glucose, which is
Yep.
helping to reduce that inflammation and that glycation. So I bet there's a couple different things that are happening here when it comes to kind of, having that intermittent fasting window.
Yeah, I think that intermittent fasting is so important just for overall rejuvenating our body from the inside out that people just don't realize it. And, I was talking actually to Dr. Perlmutter the other day, and he's like, I do a lot of this stuff. And he goes, I'd never really thought about how intermittent fasting and autophagy can actually improve my skin. And it's like, sometimes people don't make that jump. They think, oh, intermittent fasting, I can lose some weight, you know, or geez, it helps me with my brain fog, but it can actually help you with your skin and the aging of your skin as well.
I mean, that's such a win because a lot of people are doing it for those other reasons. They're doing it to boost mitochondrial function. They're doing
Yeah.
it to reduce, cellular oxidative damage. They're doing it to drop the belly fat, and they're doing it to feel more clear headed. Yeah, to
Yeah.
feel more like they're sharp and more firing on all cylinders. And as a side benefit, to have, more, glowy and more structurally sound skin. I think that's a big win. Like, I was really surprised to see it on the list. I was like, oh, I want to hear about this.
Yeah, and I think what we did a little differently is even though you break your fast, it's trying to break it with foods that will
Yeah,
continue to stimulate
I
autophagy. And
love
I
that.
thought that for me was the exciting part of it. And where I really researched like, okay, what are foods? Is it possible to still stimulate autophagy while you're eating? And the answer is if you're having high amounts of protein or high amounts of carbs, then no, that will stop autophagy. But fats necessarily do not, and especially if you combine that with polyphenol-rich foods. For some reason, those two categories, healthy fats and polyphenols, very good for autophagy.
Awesome. I love it. I love that piece of the puzzle. It's so cool. And then I know, because women are still, I know we're all still convinced a lot of us have a pretty ridiculous skincare routine. I would say there's more skincare products on the market than ever before, more influencers showing us how to do it, what to put on. It just gets a little bit crazy. Obviously, you see women day in and day out, and you're looking at skin all of the time. What are your like key recommendations around skincare? And I know you have your own amazing skincare line that you've
Thank you.
developed.
So really what it comes down to with skincare is it does not have to be complicated. And so what I tried to do in the book and really with my followers say, look, one of the mistakes that people make with skincare is you could be using too much. So I get so many people that tell me, Dr. Youn, my skin is irritated, it's inflamed. What product should I apply to my skin to make it better? And I ask them, well, what are you using on your skin? And they're using like 12 different products with all these different ingredients and fragrances and additives and preservatives and all that. So what I do with a lot of people, I say, look, in skincare, oftentimes less is more. And if you are having issues with your skin, you're not happy with how your skincare is working, the first thing you want to do is get back to the basics. And sometimes all that you need really are the basics. And what that entails is cleansing your skin every morning with a cleanser that's appropriate for your skin type. So if you've got oily skin, then use a foaming type cleanser. If you've got real dry skin, then one that's more hydrating or milky type of a cleanser is better. Then you want to apply an antioxidant serum to your skin. We talked about antioxidants before, fighting oxidation, free radicals. You can also apply that to the surface of your skin. Vitamin C serums, very, very common out there. Here's a tip though, if you want to actually get even more out of it, use one that combines vitamin C and vitamin E because they are synergistic when used together on your skin. So you apply an antioxidant serum in the morning. That way you can fight off oxidation and the free radicals throughout the day. And then I recommend putting on a sunscreen, at least SPF 30. Now there's always questions, okay, do you need to wear a sunscreen every day? What if I'm inside all day? Dermatologists will tell you you should wear a sunscreen even if you're sitting in the basement of your house all day and you're not leaving. They'll also tell you that, oh, geez, if you go outside and get some sun on your face, don't do that. I am somebody that's kind of more in the middle. I have seen a lot of patients who come in with skin cancer that is just on their face that is devastating. You get a little tiny skin cancer that you think on the tip of your nose, like, oh, it's no big deal to just burn it off. And you find that when they come back, the dermatologist has removed half of their nostril. It can be absolutely devastating. So you do not want a skin cancer growing on your face. So I strongly encourage people, definitely use sunscreen. If you're going to be out, if you're going to be exposed to sun, definitely do it. However, I also know that you can get so much benefit psychologically, mentally, even with vitamin D, from getting out in the sun and feeling the sun on your face. So really use your judgment, and you really want to try to practice moderation here. But that's all you have to do in the morning. Cleanse, use an antioxidant serum like vitamin C. Ideally, you add vitamin E to it, and then use a sunscreen. At night, so important to cleanse. And what a lot of people I do recommend is doing a double cleanse. Do you double cleanse, Mariza?
I do not double cleanse as a mom to a toddler.
That's okay. And so, what's really has been working, and this is the Koreans actually came out with this. So, hey, I give myself kind of partial credit.
You get some credit.
So a lot of people will start with an oil-based cleanser and essentially to remove makeup.
Yes.
And so if you wear makeup during the day, then strongly recommend an oil-based cleanser to get rid of that makeup. It also helps to remove oil and dirt and grime and pollution from the surface of your skin. If you only wash your skin once a day, got to do it at night. Do not do it just in the morning. Have to do it at night. Follow that up if you want with then a regular cleanser too. And if you're a guy or if you're a woman that doesn't wear makeup and you want to just use a regular cleanser, feel free to do that. It's just, once again, if you've got makeup, you want to clean it off, then use an oil-based cleanser. So you cleanse your skin at night.
So I do that. I just didn't know what it was called.
Yeah, so that's a double cleanse.
Okay, got it. Okay. So when I wear makeup, I do the double cleanse. Not every day am I wearing makeup. I'm not going to lie, because I don't, if I'm not on video. No, if I'm not on video, I know, because I'm always on video or I'm always somewhere with you, But if I'm picking up my son from preschool, no, I'm going to be I will have sunscreen on.
Yeah, there you go. Good. So then you want to follow that up with an anti-aging cream. And the one that we usually recommend is a retinoid. And retinoids basically are derivatives of vitamin A. They're the most studied anti-aging skincare ingredients, period. There's prescription strength, which is retin A, and there's non-prescription strength, which is retinol. And studies have shown that prescription strength retin A can smooth wrinkles. It can thicken the collagen or the dermis of the skin. It can actually enlighten some dark spots, and it can even reverse early pre-skin cancers. And so if you have a history of skin cancer, or let's say you've got real fair skin and your family history of skin cancer, then using a retinoid can potentially help to prevent something from coming up. So I always recommend that, and it's a great anti-aging cream. The problem with the retinoids is not everybody can tolerate them.
Yeah.
And so if you've got sensitive skin, it can make your skin dry and flaky and red. And some people, if you keep using them for a good 6 to 8 weeks, your skin can get over it and you can tolerate it, and that's okay. But if you can't, then I recommend a skincare cream containing bakuchiol. Bakuchiol is made from the bobchi plant, and this is actually an ingredient that's been used in Chinese medicine and Ayurveda for hundreds of years. And it was actually compared to retinol in a head-to-head study and found to have very similar anti-aging effects of the skin and collagen-stimulating effects as retinol, but with less irritation. So for those people who want to try something and they say, geez, the retinols just don't work for me because, man, I'm too sensitive, then try a bakuchiol type of a cream, because that can definitely help, and it's a good anti-aging cream. Other than that, peptides and growth factors are also great products to have in skincare creams. If you're a skincare enthusiast and you want to do more than one anti-aging cream, then I would combine either retinol with bakuchiol or with peptides or growth factors. And that's basically it. If you want to apply a moisturizer on top of that, if you've got real dry skin, if you live in California where it's super dry, like Mariza said, then yeah, definitely apply good moisturizer to your skin, because that's just for comfort. There's a fallacy that people think, oh, I moisturize my skin, so I'm never going to age. No, moisturizer can plump up your lines and make you look younger, but essentially it's primarily for comfort. And then the final thing is maybe once or twice a week would encourage you to exfoliate your skin, either with a gentle scrub or with some type of a mild chemical peel, like an alpha hydroxy acid peel.
Perfect. I mean, I know that it can get so complicated.
Yeah.
So that felt a lot simpler than a lot of the 12 product situation that people have, like daytime and nighttime, like various products. And so that helps.
And in my book, I call it the 2 minutes, 5 years younger skincare routine, because it literally will take you 2 minutes a day. And we tested it on people. And after about 2 months, we saw people with their skin looked on average about 5 years younger. And just by doing those simple steps: cleanse in the morning, antioxidant serum, sunscreen, and at night, cleanse, retinol or bakuchiol if you want to throw moisturizer in, and then once or twice a week, you want to exfoliate. And that's it. Very simple.
Perfect. Okay, now I want to know, and I know we all want to know, what are, because I know we talked about supplementation. I feel like we're good on
Yep.
that, and supplementation is so critical as well. So do your
Yeah.
supplements, ladies. But you are my audience is very educated on that too.
Yeah.
But I know everyone wants to know, what are the hottest trends. Let's say I am 47 years old, and maybe I spent a little too much time in the sun, and although I am eating well and I'm hydrating as well, but I'm noticing some pigment. What are some things I can be doing that are non-invasive, that
Yep.
are not just hot but actually working?
So you really want to put them into different categories. So the
Okay.
first thing you want to
Yeah.
look at is you say, hey, look, I'm really into the holistic lifestyle. I love what Dr. Mariza, comes out with, and I want to do something for my skin. And let's say I live in a place where I don't have access to a med spa or anything. First thing I recommend would be red light therapy. Red light therapy, we do believe helps, and we actually don't know the exact mechanism, but we think that it helps to stimulate the energy, the mitochondria and their energy, essentially, to power our mitochondria. And what we find, there actually are studies that do look at red light therapy and find that if you do red light therapy regularly, that you can see an improvement in wrinkles of your skin, in the texture and the tone of the skin, and elasticity and all of that.
Mm.
So it is scientifically proven that red light therapy works to make your skin better.
Mm.
However, if you're, like you say, we go, hey, you know what, I've got these age spots. Red light therapy is kind of like a catch-all treatment. Like, it can do a little of a lot. But if you want to specifically focus on something like, let's say, spots, then I would recommend an inside-outside combination. First thing would be to use a good brightening cream, a brightening cream that contains kojic acid or licorice root extract or niacinamide. Those can help, but they can take many months to work.
Yeah.
If you have access to a dermatologist or a med spa, then you want to combine that with IPL, or intense pulse light treatments. These are relatively inexpensive, maybe a couple $100 a treatment, and they basically will zap, using light energy, they will zap the pigment in those spots and cause those spots to turn darker and eventually slough off.
Mm-hmm.
The great thing about IPL, no chemicals. If you've got, if your skin is sensitive, if you don't, oh, I put something on and I break out into hives, it's just light. You can't get more holistic or natural than it just being light energy. And so it can definitely get rid of those spots. Now, there are actually at-home IPL treatments now and devices that companies are selling. I haven't used those yet, so I can't tell you how effective those are, but that's definitely an option for people who may not have access or the funds for an actual dermatologist or med spa. What I do know work, however, there are actually at-home lasers for laser hair removal, and those definitely work. I actually have some of those at home, and I have family members who've tried those, like, oh wow, these actually do work.
Oh, interesting. Okay, awesome. And then how about, just keeping, I mean, having a firm neck, having firm skin. Obviously, we talked a lot about the proactive things, but what would you recommend? I mean, if someone doesn't want a full out facelift.
So there are treatments now. The one that I would recommend, tightening skin is tough.
Yeah.
If you say, hey, how do I tighten my skin? And I say, start with a retinol, that's great. But is it going to actually tighten skin that has started to get loose? That's going to be more preventative than it's going to be actively tightening something up. In general, the treatments that we want to look at for truly getting tightening of your skin non-surgically, the way we want to do that is we want to heat the collagen to a certain temperature. Okay, so whether it's a laser, whether it's radio frequency, whether it's ultrasonic energy, the vast majority of these technological treatments that we use in offices are used to essentially heat the skin to a certain temperature to cause the collagen, those logs in that log cabin, to basically become tighter. Okay, and if you create some acute inflammation of that collagen, acute inflammation, not chronic, acute,
right.
then it can cause that collagen, as it heals, to heal in a tighter fashion. Right now, the treatment I recommend, if you say, hey, I'm starting to get a little looseness of my neck, is Morpheus 8. And this is radio frequency microneedling. Also, no chemicals or anything like that, and it's not cutting. So microneedling, essentially, they're derma rollers, where you're rollers that you roll over your skin. And those in general, we're not huge fans of, because what you're doing is you're creating a controlled trauma by making these tiny little pin pokes in the skin. But the shape of a dermal roller being round, you can get tearing of the skin, and it's not actual specific little holes that you're making. You can get kind of more tears from it. So most dermatologists are more a fan of more stamping of the skin, where you actually can do needles, but instead of it rolling on your skin, you actually stamp your skin with the little needles. Mm-hmm. And we can do that in the office with microneedling, which is a device that basically does that automatically. Now, the idea is the same thing. You create trauma to the skin, and a controlled acute trauma can cause the collagen to get tighter. Well, what if you combine that with deep heating? And that's what the Morpheus 8 does, is you make the tiny little puncture of the skin, and those tiny little pins, basically those little needles, are insulated except at the tip of the needle. And the tip of that needle emits radio frequency energy or heat. So now you're getting the actual microneedling, the puncturing, but you're also getting heat that actually gets deposited to the deeper skin. That can create actual skin tightening. That treatment is a little bit uncomfortable. I actually shared it on my Instagram reels a few days. I had it actually last week, and it creates a little bit of redness and stuff. But for non-invasive skin tightening, that is really the best thing out there. We do recommend 3 treatments. You space them out every month or 2, and we've had some really, really impressive results with it.
I mean, your neck looks great.
It's still a touch red, but it's coming
I
down
mean, it just looks wrinkle free is what I'm saying.
But that would be the first thing. Like right now, that's the gold standard for non-invasive skin tightening. Anything more aggressive than that, you're talking now getting into the invasive realm of like surgery and stuff like that.
And when, I mean, obviously different people, their skin is aging at different rates, but kind of what is the average age for women coming into your office who are kind of at a point of like, no, they've passed the point of no return. Like
Yeah.
you really need to, if they want to tighten things up, it's looking like
Yeah.
surgery.
So really what it comes down to is
Mhm.
if you are the one thing, there's a lot of things you can do. And with autojuvenation, the idea is that there's so much in that you have available with your body's own rejuvenative processes to turn back the clock. But at some point you reach, a limit, and so if, let's say, just for example, you've had 4 children and you've got skin hanging from your tummy, there's no food that you're going to eat. There's no cream you can put on your tummy that's going to make that skin go away.
Mhm.
And really what I tell my followers, my patients, is the one thing that we will never be able to treat non-invasively is when skin is excessive. If
Like
we get a little bit of
sagging,
looseness to the
excessive.
skin,
Yeah.
yes, if you got a little looseness, then yeah, Morpheus 8 can help with that. But if you've got skin that's sagging, if you're in your late 50s, your 60s or 70s, and the skin is just drooping, then doing these treatments can actually be a waste of your money potentially. And unfortunately, there are people out there where all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Mhm.
And they'll have somebody who's maybe 70 years old. They've got a lot of loose skin in their neck. Oh yeah, well, microneedle, it's going to be great. And now you spend all this money doing microneedling and it looks the same afterwards. You haven't done them a service. And so really what it comes down to is if the skin is truly hanging, whether it's from your eyelids or your neck or your tummy or wherever, then that's where surgery is usually the only truly effective option. That doesn't mean that it's for everybody. And that's why I tell my patients, look, this is really the only thing that's going to get you when you're pulling your neck up and you're saying, hey, this is what I want. I'll tell them, like, sometimes the only real option to get that is surgery. And if it's not right for you, that's okay. Nobody should ever feel like they have to do it. But it's also being honest and making sure that you don't waste your money on something and your time that's just not going to get you the results you're looking for.
I so appreciate your truth in that. And because I know women are coming, I know people are coming to you all the time,
Yeah.
constantly, trying to figure out like, what kind of treatments are going to work for wherever they're at. And I know a big part of this conversation is, what we can do on a holistic and preventative, measure in order to have this, beautiful, youthful skin, but also to help support our bodies. I mean, it's what I love so much about you, Dr. Youn, is that this holistic approach is really an inside out approach for everything in the body, skin included.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing is a lot of the stuff that you recommend that it's beneficial for your hormones, for your blood sugar, all of that, that's the same type of stuff that can actually be beneficial for your skin. You combine that with, like, say, collagen supplements, with the right skincare, and then there's certain things that we're big fans of with meditation and other types of things too that can really help with your body's rejuvenative processes. And not only can you feel more energized and more energy, but you can actually see your skin look better as well. And I think a lot of people just don't realize it. And I get so many people say, yeah, whenever I do surgery, I put people on supplements.
Yeah, absolutely.
And these are supplements that I've very carefully chosen because I know that they can help with the healing process. They can help with collagen and preventing muscle breakdown as they're not eating as much initially when they're healing. And I get so many people tell me afterwards, like, geez, my bowels are better after doing this. And like, what did you put me on? Because I've never been this regular, or my skin looks so nice, or my hair is getting thicker, or my nails are thicker, or I've had chronic pain that I'm taking these supplements and my chronic pain has gone away. All of this is intertwined, and that's a great part of it. But for me, I get people who I talk to and they go, and I try to encourage them to have a healthier lifestyle. A lot of stuff that you and I try to encourage people, and they're like, no, I don't care if I lose weight. I don't care but then I say, but your skin's going to look better. Like, oh, really? Well,
Right.
maybe then.
It's a different
Sometimes vanity is a
motivation.
good thing.
And I love it because I love the everything that we talked about today. Phenomenal for metabolic health, amazing for
Yeah,
mitochondrial support, amazing for reducing cellular oxidative stress and cellular aging, because it's happening
totally.
inside too. If it's on the skin, it's happening inside the body. It's happening to your heart, it's happening to your gut, it's happening to your liver, it's happening to your brain. And if the motivation is because you want to look younger, then please
That's
buy the book.
fine.
And guess what? You're going to get all these side benefits. Like it's all, what Dr. Youn has created in this beautiful book. Not only are you going to see your skin look better, but also you're going to notice a massive transformation in your overall body and your energy levels. And I think that is worth its weight in gold. And so I'm so excited for this. I was so excited for all the
Thank you.
pillars that were a part of this new book of yours.
Thank you. Yeah, and I really think that, it's a lot of times it's those baby steps that you take that can really make profound changes. And one thing we did is we put people on this 21-day jumpstart where the first week of it is just supplements, skincare, and just cleaning up your diet. And taking a week to just clean that up. And people just say, even after the first week, man, I felt great. The second and third week, you add the intermittent fasting to it and the autophagy promoting foods. And it really takes people to an upper level, to the point where people say, geez, I went out with my friends. I'm 2 weeks into it. I went out with my friends and they're just like, what did you do to your skin? It looks so great, without them even telling them that they were doing something. Just these comments that they would get. And on top of that, people are like, and then I lost weight and my hair got thicker. And it's just, there's so much to it. And really it's combining those things that you recommend with the right skincare, with the right supplements and all that. And you can really see massive changes in your skin, your health and energy, and so much more with your body.
Well, I love the way that you set up the challenge to really kind of ease them in.
Yeah.
You get so many people staying all the way through that 21 days with how you've built it,
Yeah,
because that
it's
first
super
step,
easy.
yeah, those are such wonderful wins. And then you
Yeah.
bring in the next piece and then the next piece. And so, by the time people are into 2.5 weeks, like they're in it,
Yes.
and they're seeing those benefits, which is awesome. So yeah, I'm going to I know you're doing the challenge earlier. But I have a feel I'll link to that. I'm going to link to the book, basically link to anything
Thank
you've
you.
got going on. Are you going to be doing the challenge more often than just this?
So we're going to try it we're going to start it on New Year's. So, the
Okay.
book has a
Oh
21-day
yeah.
challenge. We're doing an online challenge starting the January 1st. So it's called the New You Jumpstart, which is essentially taken from the book. And I'm going to follow people through it. We've got a Facebook group and all this stuff so that people can do it for free on their own as well.
Perfect. All right. Well, I want all the details. Everything's going to be in the show notes.
Yep.
I want to do it.
Autojuvenation.com. We'll have all the information there. Thank
Perfect.
you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Ewan. It was such a pleasure to have you on, Tony. I had so much fun talking to you. You gave so much incredible information, lots of things that we can take to the bank and literally get started today. And the book is available. Go get the book, get all the bonuses, do the challenge, do the whole thing. It's a new year. Let's do it. Let's change our skin.
Let's
Let's
do it,
change our life.
everybody.
Let's change our health.
Sounds
Thank,
good. Thank you so much, Mariza. I really appreciate it.
thank you.